Hello, everybody, and welcome to Becoming Invincible podcast. I am your host, Talia, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is to reframe your mindset, challenge those limiting beliefs that you may have when you're navigating all the situations in your life. And I'm here to give you tools to help you navigate them in such a healthy way and to harness your personal power that we tend to lose along the way. So settle up, get ready, grab a coffee, and get ready for some juice in each episode as I throw you what life has thrown me and we can navigate this shit together. Hey guys, welcome back. Before today's episode, I have cut my hair off. Woo-hoo! Much needed love. I was really feeling the vibes of cutting my hair and so glad that I did. It very fits the person I am today. Once it was cut, I was like, yep, this is me, loving it. So absolutely love. And it'll just be so much more easier to manage with the girls and things like that. Anyway, so yep, a moment for the hair. Absolutely love. So this episode actually is about, I wanted to do an episode on people thinking that content creators stab at people in their life. And it's really interesting where this whole concept derives from. So coming from someone who is a content creator, I don't stab at people in my life. Okay. So this is how we all learn from our experiences. We all experience a different life. It's how we get educated as well. So basically, I've had comments where people go, oh, is that about her partner? Depending on what I'm talking about, if I'm talking about in a dynamic of a relationship standpoint, I'm going to put content with me and my partner in it. And then if I'm talking about like from a parenting standpoint, I'll probably put the girls in it or me and the girls. If I talk about anything else, I sort of put it like my own content, like of me in there. Because that's how content creation works, is like whatever you're talking about, your reel has to symbolize that. Why would I be talking about relationship dynamics and giving you the view of kids playing at a playground? Like it still works, don't get me wrong, but because everything's subjective, but it makes more sense to me that I'm going to put a content of me and my partner if I'm talking about a relationship standpoint. Or if I'm talking about parenting, I'm going to put the kids or something. Or sometimes I do put the ocean because I'm at the beach with the girls or something. But yeah, like it all works, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the time that's how I view it. See, we view things so differently as well. So this is where all this comes into it as well. We view life so differently. We all don't see the same thing in life. It's really come to my attention that, okay, that's so interesting that you would think that. No, I'm talking from a certain perspective. So I'm going to show that in my reels or in my content because that's just how it is. And I feel like a lot of content creations are the same, but people like to stab at, content creators like to make digs at people in their life through their content when it's not. We talk about certain perspectives. Now, everyone is so different in their content. We all have like an outlet, and it's like, prime example, one of my friends is about to give birth. So I have had a lot of my friends give birth lately. One of my friends is due, and so she's gone and done her due diligence by other people's stories, by what she can find on podcast episodes, what she can, watch on YouTube, like different things, because there's so many nuance to stuff and not everyone has that at their fingertips. So me, when I was having the girls, I was vlogging. I was looking at vlogs on people who had C-sections. I was looking at vlogs at how people parent. I was looking at vlogs because I was about to become a parent, right? I did my due diligence that way because I relate to people's stories. That's how I relate. I don't always relate through textbook. I like when people actually say, hey, this is what worked for me, this didn't, and I think we just learn so differently in that aspect. So I'm going to look at people, okay, so what do they put in their C-section bag? What was their postpartum journey like? What was their recovery like? How they parent, things like that. You educate yourself in whatever way that is, and people are always living life like not the same way that we do. So why wouldn't you go and do that? So it's really interesting. We share from our experiences to help someone else who might be going through a similar experience or someone that they know. we don't share to stab at people in our life, you know? I mean, people who do that are very unhealed. They need to go deal with that privately. But it really has come to my attention that I was like, oh, people really think that? Like, no, no, it's not. So I don't know. I found that really interesting that that was even said. I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe I'll do like a bite-sized episode on it because people seem to have a tendency to think that way, which is so weird. Yeah, so no, content creators don't stab at people in their life. And if you see someone doing that, they obviously need to go and work through something with someone. But we share from the experience of that. Someone else could be having that experience. They could be scared. Like I have a C-section episode because people get really scared at C-section. And so my stories are both very positive in my eyes, but there is a lot of reality that goes on in there. So, but I'll always still label that a very positive experience. And people get really scared with birth. Like there's a lot going on that we all feeling different things. Like I think it's really, people need to understand that we're all having a different experience to one person, right? People learn from people. That's how we learn. That's how we go, oh, okay, so their experience was this. Like, you know, I've even researched thinking of getting a boob job, and I'm like, okay, so everyone's journey after getting one is different. Like, okay, so they healed really well. They found that harder. They did not recover well at all. People found that they did this more, that they recovered well. Like it's all that. It comes into that. So anyone who is to think, oh, content creators or people that put themselves out there, they're here to stab people. Anyone who actually is just talking from an experience, and if someone has experienced that, then they can relate to that person. That is like the whole thing. It's all about connection, connecting to different people that you'll never meet in your life because they're from a different side of the world, different side of the country. This is just where it all comes in. But it's really interesting that people always want to knock things that are very nuanced, you know, being online, putting yourself out there, even though it's 2026, guys, like so odd. But anyway, I really wanted to cover that because I think that was really odd. And no, people aren't doing that. So that's a bit of an explanation. Anyone who even thinks that, like, just is kind of uneducated online, no offense. So yeah. Anyways, just we want to say that no, people aren't. We always learn from our experience. And that's also the part of AI that, you know, we're all human beings and we're all learning from each other, that AI can't ever replicate feeling and emotion, even though it's doing a hell good job online these days. But that is how we connect with people, is connection, to understand each other, all those sorts of things. So